I headed off to meet the woman who has been Chief Minister of Delhi longer than Narendra Modi has been Chief Minister of Gujarat.
In the last 15 years, Delhi has witnessed the building of several flyovers, malls, and of course Delhi's showpiece, the metro. This metro has virtually been the showpiece and the talking point for the Sheila Dikshit government. But it still continues to be a city that's bursting at its seams. And on the surface, while everything remains good, Sheila Dikshit, for the fourth term that she's going to be contesting for, will need to look at whether Delhiites are really happy.
It's election time and people throng to meet her.
We are in the house of Delhi's Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit, who is contesting for a fourth term. The question that I'm really wanting to ask her is, why does she pass the buck? If it's law and order, it's the Delhi government which is responsible. And if it is dengue in Delhi, then she blames the municipal authorities. Just what is Sheila Dikshit accountable for?
She's running a little late and I join her and her sister on the breakfast table to discuss politicians from the eyes of a journalist.
Hello and welcome to the Real Politics, Ms. Sheila Dikshit. It's time for a high decibel, high voltage fight as far as Delhi is concerned. You're getting set for that. 4th of December is the polling date. And in the middle of this is a new entity called Arvind Kejriwal. He said that he's going to get 47% votes. Does that daunt you?
No, it doesn't daunt me at all. And why do you call it a high voltage election?
Simply because the decibel levels on every count are high in this particular election.
No, but it is so in all elections, whether it's Andhra Pradesh or whether it's Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh and all, Rajasthan which are going. But yes, it becomes high decibel. I'm interpreting your word because the presence of the media is here. So you know, things get noticed much more than they would get noticed, say, in far away Madhya Pradesh or anywhere else. As for Kejriwal ji, yes, he's a new entrant, but I can't say he either worries us. I suppose everybody looks at him with curiosity. We do the same.
You're curious about him. What about his claims about a 47% vote share that he's talking about after a survey that he's done?
I don't know what the basis of that 47% is. Parties who have been here working for very long, like BJP and Congress, I mean, we don't even claim that, you know. On what basis he's doing it? Is it because he has Yogendra Yadav in his party, that's why he's managing to do it? But I don't think anybody is quite swallowing that or quite believing that.
Sheila ji, the fact is that you've been a 3-term Chief Minister. You're completing 15 years as Chief Minister of Delhi. So far, your opponents from the BJP have been extremely, if one could call it that, weak or lackluster, and you really haven't had a fight in the last 3 elections. This time around, there is a person who's come out from nowhere. He's projected himself as taking you on, the Delhi Chief Minister on, and that is why the space that he's occupied becomes extremely important.
No, Namita ji, politics is as serious a business as any other. Like the media is, or any profession. You call it a profession, you can't really call it a profession. What is his status? Except that he keeps on talking about himself, saying I'm doing this, and then he changes track also. People are noticing all that. He started off with Anna Hazare and left Anna Hazare. He said, we are not interested in politics, we are only interested in corruption, anti-corruption movement. He's entered politics. Then they talk of the Lokpal bill, I don't think they're talking about it anymore, or he just started yesterday talk. So what is their policy? What are they going to do? Where are they getting all the money from? They talk about corruption in other political parties. But people are beginning to ask, how come they have so much of advertisements and publicity? Where are they getting the money from? So people can find it interesting to see that, somebody is entering politics for the first time. But eventually when it comes to selecting governments, people are serious about it. Just don't get carried away.
Sheila ji, the fact is that a nobody from nowhere comes, pits himself against a 3-time chief minister, invites you to a public debate. And that's the big question. Public debate, we see in the US that 2 opponents who are contesting elections do come out and debate. Are you shying away from a debate with Arvind Kejriwal?
No, he hasn't even asked me. I've read it just as much in the papers. But
that's a public call. Would you notice that?
No, certainly not. Certainly not. And besides, what is there to talk to him about? Please, I am busy with my work. I'm busy putting my, our arrangements for the election here. I don't need to go into a public debate. I'm talking to you. You came here, talk to me. He's just been throwing this at the people. I want to have a public debate. I'm ready for a public. But how are you? Just like the BJP went and said that for Modi's rally we have invited Sheila Dikshit. I never got an invite. Never.
So you're saying that he's not coming, if he were to personally come and invite you, would you be ready for a debate?
No, let him come first, then I'll decide. I don't have to ask him.
But
there was a rumor 2 days ago that and it was floated probably by him, his party, that he had met my son Sandeep Dikshit somewhere at a hotel, where they had dinner or something like that. So I rang up Sandeep. I said, did you go and have dinner with Mr. Kejriwal? He said, of course not. So you see, there are all kinds of rumors that there is perhaps I'm using a strong word, but there is a sense of desperation to keep on coming in the news somehow or the other. And this could be one.
So are you ruling out a public debate?
I'm not ruling it out. I am not going to go into it also. Let me know what the format of the public debate is going to be. Is there going to be a system? Who is going to anchor it? Let me get the details. I just can't go in for a public debate now and
say, you're open to the idea?
I'm not closed. I'm not open.
You'll see the format.
No, I have not given it any attention whatsoever, because I know that it's not going to happen. And if it does happen, then let me first find out what it is going to be about, what is going to be the format, who is going to anchor the public debate, what is going to happen.
Sheila ji, the big charge that Kejriwal and your opponents have posed against you is the charge of corruption. It begins from the Commonwealth Games, goes on to the charges made in the Shunglu Committee report, to some of the references made in the Comptroller and Auditor General's report. It also goes on to the way the electricity department is run. Apart from other things, these are the specifics that come up very often in public discourse. As far as the Shunglu Committee report is concerned, you've often said that you've sent your explanation and no action has been done. Now that doesn't exonerate you. If anything, it probably shows collusion, because there is a Congress government at the center. It hasn't taken any decision, even though the Prime Minister himself set up the Shunglu Committee report. How do you answer all this?
May I ask you one little question? I'll call you or anybody else corrupt. Is there a basis for it?
If I call you, it's different.
No, wait a minute.
But if the Shunglu Committee says, it's different.
Shunglu Committee never called us
corrupt. It said 900 crores of delays.
No. It put up the whole thing, which was the cost. Our cost was very minimal. We organized the games. Yes, we did organize the game because we are a city government. But please remember, give me the facts. Tell us this is what went wrong. All right, you can throw a figure, 10,000 crores, 500 crores, anything you want to. CIG did the same. Now I want to know, if we were really so corrupt, then it should have been followed up. Why is everything after we have answered?
That's because it's your government at the center. That's the job.
Please.
That it hasn't been followed up.
Please.
Because it's a Congress government at the center.
Don't get misled yourself, because it's not that. Otherwise, nobody, the courts will be under us, everything. If there is this thing, you give me, all right. Forget the CIG, forget the Shunglu Committee. You bring out a case against me. I'm ready to answer it. Let anybody do it. Set up a panel. If you believe that CAG is not correct or Shunglu can be overridden by the government, give me the case. I am ready and willing. And what are the other corruption charges, may I ask? Just because you have nothing else to say, you say, all right, the person is corrupt. I don't buy this, and I think this is a very, very wrong trend in our public life and in our society, that you go and throw anything at anybody you feel like and start believing that rather than the truth.
Okay, Sheila ji, I'd like to bring out one example, small example, but something that the CAG in its Commonwealth Games report said on page 453. And it says that there is the outer circle of Connaught Place which was developed, the granite stone curb was used, and instead of Sinduri red, the Chief Minister wanted Rajeshri red.
No.
Now,
I never went there. Please, sorry.
These are stated in the CAG report. So you're saying this is false?
The CAG report could be right or wrong. I'm not going to get into that. I never said anything. This is all. Now, if I did, wait a minute.
Samples of Rajeshri red with complete late flooring samples, including curbstones, were approved by the Chief Minister during her visit to Connaught Place in March 2010. And because Sinduri red was used, it was taken off. Now, the point I'm making, it may not be a large sum of money. But the point that comes across is that this is a whimsical Chief Minister using public money.
First of all, I deny this completely. Secondly, how do you assume that it's money and it's not aesthetics? I do look at aesthetics. I do like to see that my garden looks nice, that the trees look nice. I do like to see that the road looks nice, that the curbs are nicely made. But doesn't mean that you're making money out of it. That is corruption. It could be aesthetics, and in my case, it certainly is aesthetics more than anything. I'm not interested what you do. I don't deal with contractors. I don't choose contractors. I don't pick on who's to be given what contract or not. That's done by officers. Even they have been all exonerated.
Sheila ji, the other question is about women's safety in Delhi. You've said a lot about it, but a lot of it seems like a helpless Chief Minister because the law and order is in the hands of the central government. We have Sonia Gandhi, the chairperson of the UPA, who's a woman. We see Sheila Dikshit, who's a woman as a Chief Minister. Even then, women are not safe in the city of Delhi. 10 years we've seen the UPA government in power, 15 years we've seen you as Chief Minister. If you haven't been able to fix the law and order situation in terms of whether it's Delhi police is under Home Ministry or under the Delhi government, if 10 years you haven't been able to fix it with a Congress government at the center, how do you think the situation is going to fix?
The situation is improving, will improve, because the police is beginning to get more access to information, faster actions is taken. There is, yes, I agree with, there's a feeling that Delhi is not safe, definitely.
But it's real.
No, I'm not, please, I'm only differentiating, yes, there is a feeling. It's not a comfortable feeling, I agree with you there. Things are being done. What the Delhi government could do was, within a week, 10 days of the case in last November, December, we put up a helpline in the Chief Minister's office, 181. That has helped a lot of people. We've received about over 4 lakh calls now. It runs round the clock. And we try and address situations immediately. Get the police, there is a tie-up with the police, get there and on. So how many cases which could have resulted in, abuse have been saved is figures you don't know about. Then the fast track court.
But Sheila ji, all this 181 happened after the Nirbhaya case last December.
The fast track
14 years before that, what was the situation?
The fast track courts were there. The fast track courts were set up within a week of that. And the result of the fast track court, we tried this, is there. The decision came out in 9 months' time. I want to ask you one thing. You keep on talking about Delhi because it's high decibel. What about other states? I don't mean to say anything, name anybody, but Madhya Pradesh is considered the country's biggest rape state. Nobody talks about it. Why don't you talk about that? Because Delhi is there, yes, I'm not giving an excuse for Delhi. We need to improve it, we will.
Sheila ji, the real feeling that comes across, often we've seen your statements, whether it's the Delhi rape that we saw, the
No,
very
that's
ghastly.
true.
You seem to say that, it's the Home Ministry, the law and orders.
I do
when it
say
comes
that.
to dengue and the spread of dengue, you say it's the municipal authorities. Somewhere, the accountability of Sheila Dikshit, why can't people expect that?
If I didn't feel, if I was not felt accountable, I wouldn't have set up the fast track court. I wouldn't have set up this number. I wouldn't have gone everywhere to see that things are done. I wouldn't have gone to the hospitals. I could have just said, well, it's not my job, let it be. I did it without having any legal sanctity to it. But as a citizen, as a chief minister, as the political face of the city, I did it. Now, I am not looking for excuses, neither am I going to give any. The situation needs to improve, we will improve it.
We will continue to talk with Sheila Dikshit.